36+1.
And on Arena 36+1 today, we'll be talking, something that has been on the lips of many Nigerians, especially from this part of the world. So if you're watching us from all over the globe, I want to say that a big welcome to you, whatever the time, range may be at your end. We are saying that we appreciate you watching this, video today. We appreciate you, right? So I am Udwak Daniel, and I'll be taking you on a journey as we also engage with our guest, who's going to be having a conversation with us based on, the proposed requirements or educational requirements for the offices of the president and governors. All right, so sometime last year, that will be March to be precise, 2020, there has been a kind of a deliberation going on in the National Assembly as to what should be the proposed educational requirements for those who are running for the offices of the governor and the president right here in Nigeria. But then many Nigerians have looked at it from different angles, as the school of thought sees it as not being the panacea for the kind of educational or political strengthening that we expect to see in Nigeria. Some have also pointed it out or called it out as being very insensitive, because as they deliver, they say that it shouldn't be about, a political or educational requirement. It should be more about character. There should be, some sort of value system incorporated. But as it stands, there's been some loss in faith for the educational sector in Nigeria to be able to drive such, kind of political system in terms of giving the kind of governance that Nigerians expect from the leadership. But then what can we say? It is all about you having a conversation with us, so you can go across all of our social media platforms for LINKSTVI, drop your comment, and we'll go engaging with you. You could also share this video right about now, and we'll have a conversation with you as well. All right, this is so that we can actually grow the political, systems in Nigeria and help us have a fulfilling journey as we go through the processes to ensuring that Nigerians have the best of governance and leadership. Is not the type that is more authoritarian, but is more democratic, right? Where everybody has a voice and everybody has a say. In the course of the discourse, we'll be having our guest who will be joining us virtually, as in the person of Boss Honorable Daniel Atai. He's a political analyst. We'll be having that conversation, and he'll be letting us into his own school of thought, what he thinks about, the proposed delegation, and deliberation that is going on, or that went on with the National Assembly, as to what should be the educational requirement for the offices of president and the governorship. Well, is this a way out for the political quagmire that we face in Nigeria? Could it be the answer, to some of the issues that we are facing as a country? Could this be would this be what will allow many Nigerians who are hoping to enter the political scene to also begin to see it as a great venture, one of as a elitist, if you like, so that Nigerians can as well, put their minds to work and want to be a part of the system? Or rather, would it be a kind of dissuading for those who perhaps may have requirements, not educationally, but perhaps when it comes to exposure, when it comes to experience, to run for these positions, to shy away from it? Would this be a basis for them not to want to engage the political threshold right here in Nigeria? These and many more questions we'll be asking when we go on the short break. When we come back, it will be more on Arena 36+1 on LINKSTVI. Parker, stay.
LINKSTVI.
Welcome to Arena 36+1, your political and current affairs program on Links Television International. For short, that would be LINKSTVI Pucker, right? Just before we went on that break, you're watching Arena 36+1, and Arena 36+1 is about us talking politics and current affairs. And who better to talk politics with than our guest who is on set, joining us virtually, and he's in the person of boss, Honorable Daniel Atai, right? He's a political analyst, and we'll be doing justice to the topical issue, which is on the proposed educational requirement for the office of governor and president. Boss Mr. Tairu Daniel, are you there?
Here.
Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, can you hear me loudly and clearly?
Very, very clear.
Oh, that's beautiful. Welcome to Arena 36+1 on LINKSTVI Parker. Boss Daniel Atai, let's talk about something that happened somewhat last year. But then, it is also very, very pertinent that we talked about it, as we look at our political systems moving on, right? It is on the proposed, legislation which has entered second reading as of last year, March 2020, where the National Assembly is proposing that the educational requirement for the offices of president and governor should be OND. That will be ordinary national diploma. And some out already talking as a school of thought, feeling in to the matter, giving a kind of reaction to such, a delegation that is ongoing right there. And they're already saying that could this be a panacea to the continuous backwardness of our political system, especially when you take a very typical look at the president or the office of the president and the governors in Nigeria. Do you see this as the way out for Nigeria, or are there other routes that we should actually look into rather than wanting to up the game, up the balance when it comes to the educational requirement for these offices that I just mentioned, that will be the office of the president and the governor? What is your school of thought on it?
Let me go to tell you that paper is never and will never be a panacea for productive governance and the driving force of government. What is the panacea? The way out of our quagmire, it is physical productivity, mental well-being, especially on the part of the leader. I will tell you that if we prioritize paper certificates, the means to which people should be elected to offices, then we are wrong. And I am not by any way saying that education is not important. There is no sane human being who would want to be educated. But we are talking about productive education. Education that will holistically solve this country. Come to think of it, how did China and their government made it to this economic height in terms of governance? They valued skill They value industrialization, even though you need to be educated to be able to some machines in the industry, yes, or
Okay.
and implement some industry. But I can tell you, in the case of Nigeria, in this productive education, if a nation like Nigeria, independent, has produced more than 1,000 professors, has produced more than 10 million doctors, medical doctors, have produced 1 million patients, and have the president. Is it educated them? Is it a paper person in terms of degree or HPV has stopped them from emancipating the nation from even basic amenities? That is the question for you to answer. And for the
Well, boss,
government to take
Honorable
over of this.
Yeah, Honorable Daniel Tai, we might want to look at that very critically because as some are saying, and you have also alluded to the fact that it is not about paper, that it should be about perhaps the value system of the person, and this is what should propel productivity. But then, would you say that our educational sector cannot be dependent on as a leeway out of some of the squabbles that we find ourselves as a nation?
I will give you these answers. One, our education system in a part cannot be dependent. And in
Okay.
another way, yes, education has qualified to mount any ministry, department, and education is. What has the system of education put in place such that when you study a particular field of discipline, you could adequately be guaranteed and employed to produce, to be productive in that field in this country? Haven't you realized that Nigerian problem is not actually the degree? We have field degree, degree. We have masters, we have professors. And like I say, I go back to what I earlier opined, that in many fields of endeavor or educational qualification, which is next, how many of them have we used in terms of what? Activity? None. The office is not the only industry. As a matter of fact, it's an industry. It is just a government for orchestration of governance. And that means there is already a blueprint to which head officer or an appointed officer should drive. It is not the education that drives it. What drives is the system. When I mean the system, you have protocol, you have business and order in the legislative offices, and in the executive, you have laid down rule order.
Honorable, are you there? Hello? Honorable? All right, we'll get in touch with you in a short bit, right? But Honorable Daniel Atai is a political analyst, and he has gone on to saying that the place of education cannot be the yardstick for these offices. That is not the way out of the political squabbles, the political quagmire that we find ourselves as a people. He has also posited that how many of these many professors, doctors, and graduates have we been able to grow or hone their skills in a way whereby they are very, very productive to the country. But then we might also want to look at other climes. We might also want to take America, for example, which became a republic, as a republic state. America must come a long way. Of course, remember they also had a civil war at some point in their history, and now they're about 200 years old or more, and they are seemingly looking good when it comes to how much they've come to understand themselves as a people and work towards ensuring that the political systems are indeed working. But then some other school of thought will say that we are still young and we're still needing some perspective, that we've not been able to identify what the possible measure should be for us to grow as a people politically, and this has become some sort of setback for the nation. Although the National Assembly is still having a conversation as to what should be the educational requirement for the place of president and governors, some Nigerians and school of thought are also saying that perhaps it is high time we began to define what a character is all about, what the place of character is in all of these conversations. And boss, Honorable Daniel Atai, are you there? All right, though, we'll continue this conversation in a short bit, but let's quickly go on this very short break. When we come back, Arena 36+1 on LINKSTVI continues. Stay with us. Welcome back to Arena 36 plus 1 on LINKSTVI Parker. We are talking about the proposed educational requirement for, the office of governor and president in Nigeria, as the National Assembly has sought out a bill to ensuring that the PEG minimum educational requirement and qualification for persons seeking to occupy the office of president of Nigeria and the governor's, scales a second reading, so that it will be more of an elite or elitist kind of structure for these offices when you look at the sensitivity of these offices and what these offices are about. And we have our guest who's on standby virtually in the name of Honorable Daniel Atai, is a political analyst. Honorable Daniel Atai, are you there? Hello, Honorable. Can you hear me? All right. Okay. Honorable Daniel Atai has been talking about the fact that there is a need for a value system. But then when you talk about the value system, and you might want to consider the fact that even in our local parlance, we say that charity begins at home. It is also widespread knowledge that every individual of a society is a product of the family units. Yes, it therefore means that what kind of training, what kind of value system was in place within that family structure. Now, we've seen many families fall apart. We've seen many families that have gone through the heat and could not actually find a resistance. And we've seen many families break up and break into two. Some families did not even come to be, on a platform where you might say, okay, it is a very usual or normal platform for such families to be cited. But then we've seen all of that, from time to time, and all of that, even in the society. Now, this brings to mind the kind of, individuals that we are growing or grooming in the society, and what they believe in, what makes up their belief system, what they understand about humanity, what they understand about governance, what they understand about leadership, what they understand about, adding value to the society. And this should be perhaps what should be in the lookout for. And as character, as a school of thought has said, that character it is before learning. But then we've also had in our institutions as a watchword for, graduates who actually graduate from the various institutions in Nigeria. It is pegged at character and learning. But how much of character and learning have we been able to inculcate in the hearts, in the minds of the graduates that we have today in Nigeria? As many have faulted the educational system as not being the true test of knowledge, saying that it therefore means that the quality of graduates, the quality of minds that may come out to occupying such positions, if this bill indeed crosses second reading and makes it into law, would not really suffice for the level of decadence that we find within the political system and structure in Nigeria. They've also faulted out saying that it is high time we begin to look, into the educational sector, and indeed strengthen, the pillars that form the structure, and ensure that the quality is being put up front and not about quantity, looking at the situation of things. While others, a school of thought, have come out to saying that it shouldn't be about education, as this will disenfranchise those who have exposure, but not necessarily, the education within the four walls of the university, to get into politics. It it will dissuade such a person, into wanting to have a part or be a part of the political system and structure, as it were. But then it is not about, us talking about this, because if we look back in time at the past administration, just before the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari right here in Nigeria, we have one who was an elitist, right, in the place of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, right? And some also said that he made some decisions that were very, very pertinent, some decisions that were not based on just emotional charge, but they were based on the fact that there is a logical sense in these decisions. And as it of course is expected, that then Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration made sure that many of the people who perhaps went on some sort of occupying or errand when it comes to the building of the nation or the project Nigeria, we're also elitist. We saw during the elections where he appointed Professor Atahiru Jega and other elitists when it comes from the educational sector to run some errands, to do some things, placing total trust in these personalities. However, some have also faulted that system, saying that there were some profs, who during the election then could not even read. And this brings to mind, what kind of educational system do we have that would give the National Assembly such confidence that if the requirement for the offices of president and the governor was OND, that would be the ordinary national diploma, that it would indeed have a resultant effect to the kind of politics that we run in Nigeria and give Nigerians the better governance and leadership that they expect as the people. But then we have our guest, like I said earlier, in the person of Honorable Daniel Atai on standby. Honorable Daniel, are you there? Hello, Honorable? Can you hear me? Okay, it's a bit of a ruffle there. I would look into it and, of course, make some the necessary adjustments so that we can have Honorable have his voice on the arena. Anyways, I've shared some thoughts about some school of thoughts and their reasoning and what they think should be the way forward. As many are strongly saying that character is key above any educational requirement, that character is actually the source or the panacea for the Trojan of the political system of Nigeria. If we must get it right, that the logical sense is to look for a candidate with character. But then it brings to fear the fact that how do we find such a candidate? But before we even go into asking how we find such a candidate, the big question will be, what and how should you define character? What is character? To some, character could be wealth, to some character is about affluence, to some character is about integrity, while to others character is about the influence that you have as a person. The influence to bend will could be character. But what does character mean to you? If character is actually the panacea, what does it mean, and how can we find the right character? Should it be about the value system? What then is value? Because when you look at the place of when you look at a place of technology, innovations and all of that, and if you like, you might want to say civilization, a lot has come with civilization, and that has twatted the minds of many as to what the definition of the word character may be or could be or should be. in the society? Have we been a borrowing nation such that we borrow beyond, finances, and we borrow even the structures of other countries without actually making it indigenous to our own society? Looking inward, looking at how we can actually, pull these different resources and ideas together, create a structure that would work with the society in Nigeria, so that we would be emulated by other African nations and the world at large to get in better leadership, to get in a better structure for political seats and offices, just like that of the president and governors. Could we not be able to develop or call our political, elites together so that they can sit down and structure out ways whereby we can make headway as a country and as a people within the political scene? These are the questions, but you too can tell us what you think about this, the proposed bill, by the National Assembly to pegging, the requirements for the offices of the president and governor to at least a minimum of OND, meaning the ordinary national diploma. You can drop your comments right now as we bring Arena 36+1 to a close at this moment, right? Drop your comments across all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It is LINKSTVI, and on YouTube it is as well LINKSTVI. All right, that is the size of our package right now. I want to say a big thank you for watching this video, and until we come your way with another explosive, exciting, edition of Arena 36+1, your political and current affairs probe show on LINKSTVI. This is the size of it. I am Udwak Daniel. Bye for now.
Arena 36+1.